Howdy folks, welcome back to week 2 of the PPL recap. I'm your host Trexo alongside my good buddy cbmarcus. And before we hop into this recap, allow me on behalf of the team of the PPL to say thank you guys for all the support, whether it be on the coaches battles, the videos here on the PPL channel, or even in the Discord showing love with the pick'ems. Just from the bottom of our hearts, thank you guys so much for all the support you've been able to show the league so far. We hope we can keep it going for you guys as we move forward throughout the season. Our first matchup of the week is Monte's Immunity Idols taking on Q's Chicago Dragapults. This was the classic matchup of hyper offense versus balance, and the early game found Monte struggling to find switch-ins to Q's unrelenting offense. After positioning himself to get off a chilly reception into his Terra Captain to Titan, Monte looked to be in a position to clean up the game. Q was able to mitigate damage through a series of doubles, but eventually all that was left was his Terra Captain Meloetta. Thanks to its Assault Vest and its electric typing, Meloetta was able to take out Kilowattrell and still King Galar, but Scissor was able to KO Meloetta, winning Monte the game.
Going off team preview, the Envy and Droopy match was slated to be a hyper-offensive game, but it wasn't expected to be as fast as it turned out. Envy did some initial scouting, paralyzing the opposing Klefki and Mousehold. Envy then swapped into Quaquaval and began getting knockouts, as Droopy sacked off the Mousehold, allowing Quaquaval to snowball out of control for the New York Marauders. The opposing Klefki was unable to stop Quaquaval as it was fully paralyzed on the turn that it could revenge maybe, and that allowed Quaquaval to claim 5 KOs. Droopy's Cinderace was able to prevent the full sweep with his Scarfed Pyro Ball, but then fell to Ursaluna, giving Envy and the San Diego Chimichargers a big Week 2 win.
Our next battle features Gray V's Vancouver Titans versus Under the Radar's Maryland Torterrapins. Gray opened up with his Terra Ghost Greedent, while Kalik was committed to his Hazard Sack game plan. It was a very back and forth game, with both coaches slowly chipping each other down. Under the Radar was able to get Staraptor in position to take out the Suing Gooter and Team Glue, putting himself in position to clean up the game with Sneasler, defeating Gray 3-0.
Our next match was a slow burner as El Scizor and AIM brought teams meant to outlast the opponent, but Joey got the upper hand early, being able to get up layer after layer of spikes with Ceaseless Edge, Hisui, and Samurai. From there, Hisui and Electrode was able to freely Volt Switch on El Scizor's team. However, Sub Rillaboom eventually stopped the Electrode in its tracks. El Scizor then went on to apply pressure with Roaring Moon, but fell early to Life Orb and Rocky Helmet Chip, followed up by a Dragonite Extreme Speed. At the end of the mid-game trades, it came down to Joey taking down the opposing Grafaiai, which was Terra Dark. It knocked out Joey's Crocodile, but not before falling to the Extreme Speed Dragonite and sealing the game in favor of the LA Wakers.
Two dominant Gen 8 coaches faced off this week, as JV's Atlanta Victinis took on Shuckle King's Philadelphia Stunkies. Neither coach had success forcing progress in the early game, but Shuckle King was able to apply some offensive pressure with Great Tusk. However, this gave JV the opportunity to step in agility with his Terra Captain Galarian Articuno, allowing him to take out Goldengo. After trading KOs, Shuckle King was able to get in Zarude and clean up the game.
The London Shockwave and Shanghai Dragons faced off in a fast-paced game right off the bat, as Addison led Glamora for hazards and started knocking out the opposition with Terra Normal Tauros very early on. Landorus and Revavroom went down early for Ellie, which opened up the game for the Scarf Gardevoir, which could trace the regenerator of the opposing Tornti to get in and get out while dealing damage in the process. Tornadus T was hitting everything that Gardevoir switched into and dealt some confusion in the process, but not before falling to a Scarf Moonblast, sealing the game for Addison and the London Shockwave in convincing fashion.
The next matchup featured Nexus's Pittsburgh Peaches taking on Mephisto's niece Jinx. Nexus opened the game on the attack, quickly getting his Terra Fairy of Mischievous set up with a Calm Mind, in prime position to start breaking. Mephisto was able to halt the attack with a Sylveon, forcing out the Mischievous. Mephisto was unable to get in his Terra Bug Low Kicks, who was able to pick up 4 KOs before trading with Overquill, who was knocked out due to its own Life Orb chip. From here, Mephisto's Chi was able to clean up the game, tanking a +1 Moonblast from Iron Valiant in the process.